Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of I'm trying on a new outfit and I have no idea if it actually looks good, so I'm going to let the comment section decide. Also known as Also Rusty Buckets, that's the name of this channel. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already. I am trying to hit 100k on this channel by the end of the year, so I would much appreciate your subscription, especially if you're somebody who's watching my main channel a lot and you check out these videos occasionally. Might as well subscribe so that you can watch them. Also drop a like on this video, it helps it do better in the algorithm, so it's appreciated. So today's video, I debated whether or not to make it because Game 5 of the conference finals just happened, which obviously should be a big deal. However, no Giannis and no Trae Young, therefore, like the actual level of attention this game is getting and this series is getting, it's probably a bit of a drop-off, though there is definitely hope for Trae to return in this series, and there is some hope for Giannis to return. So it's not like the series is set in stone, just those guys aren't going to play for the rest of it. But they, of course, did not play in Game 5. Game 5, especially, well, not especially, Game 5, when the teams are tied up 2-2, is a really pivotal and important game in the series, because now whoever wins that one has the numbers on their side in terms of them winning, especially if they're the team with home court advantage. And luckily in the case of the Milwaukee Bucks, and not so luckily in the case of the Atlanta Hawks, the Bucks win Game 5 relatively convincingly. Of course, this is an abnormal circumstances. These aren't these teams at their best, but we saw the Hawks in Game 4 with the Bucks having Giannis and, well, for a good chunk of the game, at least the first, I think the injury happened in the third quarter, and the Hawks not having Trae Young, the Hawks looked like they were going to win that game before Giannis got hurt. So they're clearly not just completely bad without Trae. They had Lou Williams step up and Bogdanovich step up, Kevin Huerter step up. They just got a lot of production out of their guys who were more like catch and shoot guys previous. But this game, the Bucks were phenomenal at pretty much everything outside of what they typically do. Now, they didn't get much production off of the bench with Bobby Portis in the starting lineup. They got Pat Connaughton with 9 points. He had a three-pointer out of the corner in this really nice like pump fake floater shot over John Collins, but that was pretty much it. And then Bryn Forbes, of course, hit a three. But after that, it was Chris Middleton who had a really good game, though not, standing out significantly. Drew Holiday, who had a fantastic game. He was dribble penetrating like over and over. A lot of assists out of that, a lot of good drives out of that. A couple of mid-range pull-ups, but also not like overly relying on the three-point shot, which is something he's been doing previously, so I appreciated that. PJ Tucker was fantastic defensively and rebounding-wise. Brook Lopez turned into prime Shaq today. Like, I'm not even joking. He took 2 3-pointers today, but he had 33 points. He went 14 out of 18 shots, 78%. A lot of stuff in the paint, a handful of dunks, hook shots, and 1 hook shots. Just getting deep post position, and Capella was not doing a great job defending it. Onyeka Okongwu was not doing a great job defending it. Really, Brook Lopez just feasted inside like it was back in his Brooklyn days where he was primarily a post threat. But it wasn't even really that much like posting up to it. He was just being a big body inside, and some dump-off passes late in the game. There was an alley-oop. There was a play where they were doubling Middleton on the perimeter, and then Middleton just threw it right into the restricted area where Brook Lopez had good positioning for a hook shot. So Brook Lopez, just fantastic, and he's the main reason why they win this game. However, a guy that I want to talk about specifically here is Bobby Portis. Now, I am a big fan of Bobby Portis, and I have been for years. There was actually a time where Bobby Portis was my favorite player in the league because he was my favorite player on the Bulls, and my favorite player in the Bulls is by default my favorite player in the league. That's why Zach LaVine is my favorite player in the league. I honestly enjoy watching Steph Curry play more, but got to have a Bulls guy number one. Bobby Portis is such an amazing energy guy, and he's also a really good offensive threat. Most energy guys are like guys who make defensive and hustle plays, and they're not really known for their offense, but Bobby Portis can score the ball. He's a really good mid-range shooter. I know he hit a face-up mid-range shot in this game. I think he hit a fadeaway as well. He is a pretty damn solid outside shooter. His percentages and numbers have been really good for the past few years, and He's a good paint finisher, and he can post up. He had a couple of hook shots out of the post in this game. Really, there was a lot of hook shots overall in this game. This was a lot of post play, a lot of interior stuff. I believe the Bucks had almost like 40 points in the paint at halftime, which is a lot. So they were that was really their prerogative, was attacking the basket. But Bobby Portis brought the energy. He brought the offense. He brought the interior play. He made good hustle plays. He just deserves all the credit in the world for this game. So very, very, very good game from Bobby Portis. And I'm glad that he got inserted into the starting lineup, and glad that Budenholzer knew that he would have to be that source of offense, because when you look at the bench, as far as I'm concerned, Bobby Portis is the best player on the Bucks bench. Yes, he's better than Bryn Forbes. Yes, he's better than Pat Connaughton. Not always situationally better than what Pat Connaughton can bring as a wing, but overall, he is a better player. And he wasn't getting minutes in the net series, and that was kind of confusing to me. But he absolutely shined in this one, and I hope this means more minutes for him going forward. Obviously not starting when Giannis comes back, but just more opportunity, because he can stretch the floor. In the playoffs, he's been a really good defender. He hasn't always been a good defender, but he has been in the playoffs. And decent enough rebounder, floor spacing, shot creating, rebounding a little bit. Like, just anything you can ask for out of Bobby Portis, he's pretty much doing it. He even made a couple of plays in this one. One pass in particular, out of the post, threw it over his shoulder to a cutting Drew Holiday. I believe it was an and one after that. Actually, it wasn't. It wasn't an and one. But playmaking even, he was doing that. So a fantastic game from Bobby Portis. Brook Lopez played out of his fucking mind. And then both Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton came to play in this one. Drew Holiday in particular, especially in the first half, really, really, really attacking. So just a fantastic effort from the Bucks and their starters, 4 guys with 20 plus points. That's awesome. And they got 21 assists out of their starting guards. So yeah. Also defensively, I have to say, well, I wouldn't say the Bucks did the best job overall, because giving up 112 points to a Trae Young-less Hawks team, I'd say is pretty subpar. But they were getting a lot of steals. They got 11 in this one. There were a couple of stretches where it felt like they were getting a steal every other defensive possession. Drew Holiday was ripping people, or he had one rip in particular on Lou Williams. And then Bobby Portis, who else but him, was also getting steals. He ripped the ball out of somebody's hands on the perimeter like it was a joke, and that was definitely something. On the Hawks side of things, Bogdan Bogdanovic once again was really good. He was out there throwing up threes. I didn't realize he'd put up this many, but he took 16 fucking threes. Kevin Huerter was not his best today, and he's been big in moments for them in the past, so him not stepping up definitely hurt this one. Lou Williams once again had a pretty good game, not as good as last game, but still pretty good. John Collins played good, and Danilo Gallinari played good. Pretty much everybody that you would expect to contribute in the way, basically, other than Kevin Huerter, everybody contributed in the ways that you would hope them to, but it just wasn't enough, and that speaks to how good the Bucks played. I wouldn't say the Hawks necessarily played poorly. I think their interior defense could have been better. Honestly, the interior was so open for a lot of this game that I might have actually tried doing a double lineup of Capella and Onyeka Okongwu. I think Okongwu has a little bit of spacing ability though, but not enough that you would do that consistently. But there were just times in this game where it was dude, just lean all in on defense, because your offense is not going to be enough to outscore this team right now. And they were just getting killed in the paint. So from that perspective, they didn't do the best defensive job in the world, but I think overall I can't be too mad at the Hawks here, even though, of course, this is the Bucks without Giannis. But I just think Bobby Portis had that game. And I honestly think Bobby Portis can do this for the rest of the series. Maybe not to this extent, but space the floor, be an energy guy, all that stuff, be a good offensive threat. I think Bobby can do that. And if they can get out of this conference finals, really, the ideal situation for the Bucks would be to win this in 7. Now, obviously, that does not mean that you lose Game 6 on purpose or anything like that. Just secure the finals appearance. But if it goes to 7, that means another day or 2, maybe even 3. I'm not entirely sure how the scheduling will end up working, but it's another at least day or 2 that Giannis would be able to recover from his injury before the finals. So that will be huge. I would actually just prefer if they won it in 7. I'm still gonna. The Bucks are my favorite team in the playoffs right now. By the way, if you didn't know that already, favorite team left, that is. But if they if they manage to make it a 7-game series, that's more time for rest. But ultimately, Game 6, I'm still going to be rooting for the Bucks. I'm just saying, the perfect world, they win that way. But either way, just fucking win. But like getting more rest time for Giannis is definitely a victory, and hopefully that's how it ends up going. Also, 7-game series is always preferred because it's more entertaining. An elimination game for both sides. That's why everyone loves Game 7s. Anyways, I have no idea what I'm going to title this one. It might be something stupid like Brook Lopez turned into Prime Shaq today. Something like that. So yeah, that's the video. Goodbye.